Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 28th of September 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. And tonight's Raw was meh. It was all right. I mean, it was a passable show, but I'm going to ask you guys in the chat right now. To you, has Raw kind of felt longer than it normally does over the last couple of weeks? Because to me, and I don't know if maybe it's because the time change is coming and it's getting darker a little bit sooner, but to me, it feels like Raw is longer than it normally is. I know it's not. It's still a 3-hour show, but it could just be the time difference. And usually I'm doing this review and it's still light outside. I'm doing this review right now and, well, the sun is all the way down. So maybe that's why it feels like it's later or something to me. So, but how does it feel to you guys as far as, does Raw feel like it's just a longer show? Also, we're going to put up a poll right here in the live chat. What did you guys think of tonight's Monday Night Raw? What did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Let me know what you guys thought. The poll is live now. If you are watching live, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Also, if you are here live on Twitch, remember to support us in a couple of different ways. You can either support us by dropping some bits in the live chat or being like Broken King Slender and doing that tier 1 subscription. I want to thank Broken King Slender for his tier 1 subscription at 3 months now. 3 months subscribed at tier 1. But if you don't have the money to do a tiered 1 subscription and you're ready to pay Amazon for Amazon Prime, then you can subscribe for free. Because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And if you have Prime Gaming, that means that you get to subscribe to any one Twitch channel that you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And we would greatly appreciate it if that one channel that you subscribe to was us. You just got to remember, if you're using that Prime Gaming subscription, you have to manually go in and re-up the subscription every month. So, hey, we'd greatly appreciate it if you supported us in that way, either with some bits or with a subscription, whether that is a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or a free Prime Gaming subscription. But with that, let's get into talking about Monday Night Raw. Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe were on the commentary table today, or tonight. They ran down what has happened in the last WWE title match, as far as what happened at Clash of Champions with Drew and Randy. Ric Flair, Big Show, Christian, and Shawn Michaels all made their way down to the ring. Michaels welcomed us to Monday Night Raw, and Drew McIntyre would then make his way down to the ring. McIntyre hugged each guy and mentioned how cool it was to share the ring with them. McIntyre wasn't expecting to see them last night, and he mentioned that growing up in this business and traveling with guys like Christian and Big Show, he said they always looked out for him. He talked about basically Shawn Michaels kind of being a mentor, especially when he was in NXT, and then just people like Ric Flair being role models for him and what he wants to be as far as a professional wrestler. Drew then said that they all have a shared disdain, and that's for Randall Keith Orton. He put Orton in an ambulance last night and said that he was still the WWE champion. Michaels said that they all wanted to thank him for whipping Orton's ass. Michaels said that they all got together and came up with the plan to get involved. Michaels joked that it was all Flair's idea, though, if McIntyre was upset that they actually did it. He said, yeah, if you're mad, it was Ric's idea. Orton would then appear on the big screen. Orton said that it wasn't over between he and Drew McIntyre. He said if McIntyre thought he went through hell last night, he doesn't even know what hell felt like. And right there, Randy Orton said it. He said, we're going to Hell in a Cell. Like, he used the word hell 2 times in one sentence. If they ain't doing Hell in a Cell between these two, then I don't know what they're doing. but I'm 99% sure it's Hell in a Cell. And not at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but inside Hell in a Cell. McIntyre then knew Orton was about to ask for another title shot, and Orton said, I don't ask for anything. Stuff like that is given to me because I'm a 13-time world champion and I deserve it. Orton just wanted to warn everybody that there was a price to pay when you cross him. Orton then said he was leaving the arena with his luggage. McIntyre wasn't really feeling great after last night. He said, I still got a broken jaw and I hurt my knee, but I'm a fight champion and I'm laying down the gauntlet. Drew McIntyre put out an open challenge for anybody in the back that has never challenged him previously for the WWE Championship to come out and challenge him tonight. Now remember, that is if you haven't challenged him previously. So that means no Randy Orton, no Dolph Ziggler, no Seth Rollins. Everybody else, fair game. Kayla Braxton interviewed Zelina Vega in the back and called her a poor sport for the way she acted after her match last night. Vega said she wanted to prove herself tonight and said Asuka wasn't ready for her. Asuka would then show up and was amused by this. Asuka told her to get ready to lose again. Officials got between them and they went down to the ring. So next up we had a Raw Women's title match. Asuka versus Zelina Vega. It was literally, maybe went like a minute longer than last night's match, but other than that, this was the exact same match. They went to break about 2 minutes in, and at one point, Asuka caught Vega with a kick as she came off the apron before the break, but Vega was in control when we came back from the break. Asuka mounted a comeback using some strikes, a German suplex, and a sliding kick for her 2. Vega tried targeting the arm with a submission, but Asuka countered with a vertical suplex and followed this up with some kicks. Vega avoided an Asuka lock by getting a quick rope break and followed with a back cracker, but Asuka got to the ropes. Vega went for a moonsault, but Asuka got her knees up and applied the Asuka lock for the submission. Really, nothing happened in this match. It went about 8.5 minutes, and it was almost the exact same match we saw last night. For some reason, Asuka held the submission on for a couple more seconds after the bell even rang. Ref had to verbally tell her to let go. Cool. We then see in the back, Ric Flair, Big Show, Christian, and Shawn Michaels all playing poker. After a break, Andrade was in the ring. And this was weird because he was already talking, yelling at Zelina like they gave him his cue to start early or something. I don't know exactly what happened here. But he was yelling at Zelina saying, "You're nothing without me. You're weak. You're a weakling." He then said Garza is also weak. That's why he got hurt last night. Andrade said that he was the glue keeping all of this together. But now it's time for him to go out there and show how great he really is. He would then issue an open challenge to anybody in the back, and out would come Keith Lee. So when Andrade started, going on about I'm better than all the two of you, I kept this all together. You're nothing without me. I go, finally, they're going to really push Andrade. They're going to do something cool and good with Andrade. He's going to finally say, I don't need them. Whatever. But then when Keith Lee came out, I go, fuck me. They're just going to squash Andrade. And this match literally went less than 3 minutes. Lee won very quickly. Andrade was in control for a bit, targeting Lee's lower body. Andrade hit running double knees in the corner, but Lee grabbed him and hit him with a spirit bomb and picked up the victory. That was it. Andrade is just a guy. Nothing special anymore. I don't even know what to say. Then in one of many dumb segments, MVP and Shelton Benjamin were in catering. They were eating, talking, and some random guy just sat down next to them. Bobby Lashley appeared behind the guy and says, "You're in my seat." The guy gets up and scoots over to the seat next to MVP. Lashley goes, "You're in my seat still." And the guy's like, he smiles a little and then goes, "I'll just go sit over there." And he gets up, goes to walk off, and Lashley goes, "My plate?" And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, here." And he just gives on Bobby Lashley his plate of food. They then laugh and make fun of the guy. And MVP puts the guy's food on Lashley's plate after the guy was already eating it. Corona. Just saying, you don't eat off of somebody else's plate no more, especially somebody you probably don't know that well. This is a dumb segment, which was literally followed up with another dumb segment. So they replayed parts of the R-Truth to Zawa Shark segment. Truth was shown in the back, playing by himself some chess. A ninja appeared and handed him a letter, which was written in both Japanese and English. Because he was like, Japanese, I can't read this. Oh, there's an English version. The letter was from Tozawa. And it said that Tozawa had been, I guess you could say, devoured by a shark last week. And because of that, he is now dead and wanted to leave something to Truth. And it was, well, his black belt. Truth appeared honored to be gifted the black belt of Akira Tozawa, but then Tozawa would appear, roll him up, and pin him to become the 24/7 champion. The ninja then hit Tozawa with a briefcase and pinned him to become the new 24/7 champion and revealed that it was none other than Drew Gulak. And here's my issue with this. So last night at Clash of Champions, Drew Gulak pinned R-Truth to become the champion. And they literally said, if Truth doesn't get his title back tonight, he cannot go to SmackDown and get that and try to take the title from Drew Gulak because he's a Raw superstar. So how the hell was Gulak on Raw tonight with that kind of, I guess you could say, explanation? If Truth wasn't going to be able to go to SmackDown to try and win the title back, then how can Gulak just appear on Raw as a SmackDown superstar? It doesn't make any sense. So Truth gets up and, this shouldn't have happened spot. So Truth gets up, grabs the briefcase, and literally throws it right into the face of Gulak. Gulak doesn't put his hands up to block, nothing. He just, wow! Briefcase to the face. Hard shot. He takes a back bump, just falls straight down, gets pinned. Who's still the champ? All of a sudden, immediately they go, oh, hey, by the way, later on, the 24/7 title will be on the line in a triple threat match. Who do what? Okay. So going forward, Seth Rollins approached Murphy, gave him a hug. He said, Murphy, my disciple, how are you doing tonight? And then he looks him down, looks him up, looks him down, looks him up, and goes, why are you wearing your gear? You don't have a match tonight. You should go wear that suit that I bought for you. We got things to celebrate. And Murphy didn't say anything. And Seth was just like, come on, go put that suit on. I bought it specifically for you. So he's just kind of like, okay. So he leaves. But he leaves his cell phone behind. Seth takes his cell phone and puts it in his jacket pocket. He sees something on the phone and is very intrigued by it. So next up, we had King's Court with Jerry Lawler. I'm going to say right now, I don't know if Aaliyah's been training to wrestle, but she's better on the mic than Dominic. At least she was tonight. Dominic was very, I don't want to say robotic, but you can tell he was reciting lines, as Aaliyah was more like an actress reciting her lines, knowing her lines, acting her part. Dominic was more of, I'm a wrestler trying to remember my lines. So there was a couch in the ring. Angie and Aaliyah sat on the couch as Dominic and Ray stood behind them, and Lawler asked the hard, tough questions. Ray told Lawler that Rollins couldn't keep his own house together, so he shouldn't be worried about Mysterio's. He called Rollins evil. Dominic then said he was tired of Rollins and would put an end to this the next time he saw Seth. Lawler noted that Rollins could be lying about the paternity test because we actually never saw the papers and the truth. But what he really wants to know about is Aaliyah's reaction to when Ray last week called her naive to the business. Aaliyah admitted, yes, maybe I am. I was a little upset last week, but also acknowledged that she is young and doesn't really know much about the wrestling world. She says she didn't know what to think about Murphy, though, because Murphy just came and sat next to her. She didn't ask him or talk to him about coming and meeting up backstage. She said he associates himself with Rollins, and that should be enough for Ray. Rollins would then appear on the screen. He said he had something important to say because somebody is lying in the Mysterio family. Rollins would then go on to say that Aaliyah wasn't being honest about her feelings for Murphy. Rollins then showed a screenshot of text message exchange between Aaliyah and Murphy. The exchange showed Murphy apologizing to her again, and Aaliyah responding politely and even wishing Murphy a happy birthday. Ray was upset by this. Aaliyah said, "Murphy's not what you think. He may have done some bad things, but he's not like Rollins. He's not like Rollins at all." Aaliyah would then storm off to the back. Ray and Angie went after her. Murphy then confronted Rollins and grabbed him by the shirt. Rollins laughed, and Murphy was very upset with what Rollins had just done. Dominic then flew in and attacked Murphy out of nowhere. Officials ran in and broke them up. We then get the word that Dominic versus Murphy will be taking place later on. Looking at the chat here for a second. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, the number is 510-906-1341. The number is in the live chat, and we'll be scrolling periodically right down here throughout the remainder of the show, throughout the whole show. So Natalya and Lana came down to the ring wearing matching pink and black gear and talked about how Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler should be stripped of the championships. They should be stripped of the championships since they are not defending them. They didn't defend them when they were supposed to last night. They said that there would be no women's tag team titles if it wasn't for them because they're celebrities and social media influencers. And my first thought was, the fuck? First off, they were not even a duo or a team when they introduced the tag titles. And Natty had a shot with Beth and couldn't win them. So why does Natty think she's got a shot with Lana to win the titles if she couldn't win them with Beth Phoenix? Now, I get it. TJ's been training Lana. They've got some secret or not so secret ring set up in a warehouse where TJ's literally been training Lana. So I don't know. We'll see. Lana said that no, I already read that part. Lana said that they deserve to be the champions once that the current champions are stripped. Adam Pearce would come out and say, "Unfortunately, we ain't stripping nobody of the titles." He said that they can earn a shot if they really wanted to. We know who the next challengers are, but we already need to get a set of challengers for after when the Riot Squad get their shot. And he said, if you guys can defeat Raw's newest acquisitions, maybe you can get yourself in line for a tag title shot. And out would come Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Now here's the thing. We know why Mandy is on Monday Night Raw. But why is Dana now all of a sudden a Raw superstar 1 week before the draft? They even said this. I think it was Tom Phillips said, moves are being made 1 week before WWE's upcoming impending draft. So trades can be made before the draft? This doesn't make any sense, and I don't even know what to think of it. But we ended up getting Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke against Natalya and Lana. The match went about 3 minutes. The heels worked over Dana Brooke briefly until Rose made the hot tag. There was an ugly spot where she gave Lana a gut-wrench slam, and Lana almost landed on her head. Rose followed this up with a V-trigger knee, pinned Lana, and picked up the victory. For 3 minutes, it was bad. Like, you would think, it should be okay. It's only 3 minutes long. No, this was bad. And I feel like, to be honest, over the last year, I feel like Natty's regressed as far as her skills in the ring. Not as good as they once was. Like, for starters, and not trying to be rude or anything, it's like when Natty runs in the ring, it's like the old joke people used to make on Becky Lynch. Becky would take too many steps to run across the ring. Natty does that now. Natty used to look great in the ring, but now, I don't know what it is. But Natty it's almost like she's just phoning it in, to be completely honest. And I could be completely wrong about that, but to me, Natty looks like for a lot of the time, she's just out there. They tell her what her match is, they tell her what the finish is, and she just does it. I don't know. So, Aleister Black cut a promo in his dark room on Kevin Owens. He noted that Owens' history of betraying people Owens likes to speak about family, but family made Black think about cruelty because his father was cruel to him. He said people might forgive and forget Owens for the things that he's done in the past, but he never will. Also, our poll has finished. What did you guys think of tonight's Monday Night Raw? 63% of you said that you thought Raw was just all right. 21% said I didn't like it. And 17% said I did like it. Going forward, the Street Profits would approach Christian, Big Show, Flair, and Michaels in the back. They cheered with some drinks and continued playing poker. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to check a message, actually. May have some info coming out of Raw. Okay, nothing yet. Going forward, we had Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black. And the match ends in DQ. And if you're going to do a DQ finish, don't give us a 13 to 14 minute match. Don't drag it out and then be like, oh, well, there's no finish. Also, Aleister Black got new music. What do you guys think of his new music? I don't like it. I thought his last music was perfect. I get it. The CFO guys aren't working for WWE anymore, so they got to change all the music. It sucks. Because Aleister Black had perfect music for him. Keith Lee had perfect music. It got changed. So, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I don't know how WWE didn't get the rights to this music when it was created. I guess CFO had some deal with their former publishing label to where the publishing label actually gets partial rights. And so since WWE doesn't own the full rights, if they want to continue to use it, I guess they have to pay partial royalties to the publishing company or something, I guess. That's the way it was explained to me. That WWE only owns part of the old music that people are using, that CFO created. Because the deal that they have with their own publishing company was, you can go and create music for somebody else, for anybody. And they can try to own that music. But anything you create while you're signed to our label, we own half of. That's how it was explained to me. That the publishing label owns half of the songs, half of everything CFO created. So. Black had new music. He also came down with the eye patch thing on and then ripped it off right before the match started during his entrance. Black was in control early until Owens came back with the chop, clothesline, senton, German. Black rolled out of the ring and Owens couldn't go for the pin. Owens then hit him with the senton off the apron. This led to a commercial break. Owens used a DDT for a 2, but Black followed this up with a kick to the leg and kicked the leg out from under Owens. Black cut off a couple of comeback attempts with some strikes. Owens dodged a pump kick and hit a super kick for a 2. Owens tried a senton off the top, but Black got his knees up. Black followed with knee strikes for a near fall. Black argued with the referee before turning his attention back to Owens. Black was in the middle of the ring for some strike combos with Owens, and then he hit the referee, by accident. Ref then just called for the DQ. Black was rightfully upset and noted that the ref was standing way too close to them. Ref needs to back the F up. Ref needs to get out the way. As they made the DQ announcement, Owens gave Black a stunner. Cool. That means this isn't over. That means we're going to see Black versus Owens yet again. Yet again. Saxton tried to claim that the ref made the call, the only call that he could do, and that was stupid. Joe also said the ref was standing a little too close. The Hurt Business were seen walking backstage. They were walking through the back and ran into Mustafa Ali, who emerged from the personal locker room. He apologized and claimed that, well, I got lost. MVP said he must have lost his mind and shoved him. Ali was about to go after them, but was then held back by Apollo Cruz and Ricochet. Ricochet said that this wasn't over between them. Next up, we had the triple threat match, Truth, Gulak, and Tozawa for the 24/7 championship. And here's the thing. About 3 months ago, Gulak was a free agent, no longer tied to WWE, can leave and go sign somewhere else, can go wrestle anywhere else in the world. And he chose to come back to WWE. He chose to sign that WWE contract, not even miss a week of television. And all he is now is a 24/7 geek. 24/7 nerd. Just like Caruso. Well, actually, I should talk about this match, which there was nothing to talk about. Tozawa and Gulak tried to double team Truth for a while, and at about the 4-minute mark, Truth pinned Gulak after hitting him with an attitude adjustment. Or Truth pinned Gulak after giving an attitude adjustment to Tozawa. That was it. Nothing else really happened. Charlie Caruso interviewed Rose and Brooke. Rose said that it was no-brainer having Dana Brooke as a partner because she was a great athlete who was always there for her. Brooke said that Rose was an inspiration for always getting up after getting knocked down. Rose knew that Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan were next in line for the women's tag titles, but regardless of who wins those titles when that match does come, they want the next shot. Okay, cool. We need more women's tag teams. They're not doing anything with these two. Why not? I mean, if you don't have something to do with two people, why not try to make them a tag team? Especially in a division when there's not real tag teams established anyways for the most part. It's a women's tag team division. You got to make up tag teams because there really aren't any. And they should do this with the men too. I mean, they did it with the Bar. They put them together and they were great. I mean, Nakamura and Cesaro, they weren't a tag team a year ago. And now, boom, they're tag team champions. So why not make more makeshift tag teams and see how they work out? If they don't work out, they don't work out. But at least you tried. Because there's only like 5 tag teams in the male division across both brands, to be honest. All of a sudden, at the end of this interview, all 3 women looked to the left, I think it was, confused. And they just showed Dominic. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. We then go to the 3rd hour, the 10 o'clock hour. But no Raw Underground. I don't know exactly why we didn't get it. I didn't hear anything of No Raw Underground today. So, hey, is it gone? I don't know. Excuse me. Is Raw Underground done? I don't know. WWE congratulated themselves on having, well, a lot of Instagram followers. Cool. We then get a 7-minute match, Murphy and Dominic Mysterio. The two went back and forth until Dominic clocked Murphy with a forearm. The two work perfect together. Murphy came right back with the running knee strike. Dominic followed this up later with a tornado DDT. Dominic then aggressively stomped away on Murphy in the corner before the ref stopped him. Dominic grabbed a kendo stick out from under the ring and Aaliyah made her way down. She was yelling at Dominic to stop. Don't do it. Don't hit him with the kendo stick. Leave Murphy alone. He then went, Dominic then slid into the ring. Aaliyah once again was yelling at him, which distracted Dominic. Dominic was then rolled up by Murphy, and Murphy pinned him in the middle of the ring, holding the tights. Murphy then slid out of the ring. Dominic slid out of the ring, and Dominic hit Murphy with the kendo stick. Dominic was able to run off, and Aaliyah jumped in the middle. Murphy left. Dominic was stopped by his sister. She said again, don't do this. He's not like Seth. Dominic then said, have you seen what he's done to us? Have you seen what he's done to our family? Have you seen what he's done to me? Have you seen what he's done to our legacy? Or he said, I'm just trying to protect our legacy. Which, Dominic's not wrong. Murphy's done some shady shit working for Seth. But at the same time, maybe Aaliyah knows the real Murphy. Maybe Murphy was brainwashed by Seth, and he's coming out of that brainwash and doesn't really want to do things for Seth. But here's the thing. Maybe Murphy knows, if I work with Seth, then I'm in one of the top programs on the show. That's more money for me. If I can main event, I can get more money. If I'm not with Seth, I may not get that. So that's why he's like reluctantly still working for Seth Rollins. Dominic would then call Aaliyah naive. She slapped him. Nice slap. Real nice slap. And then left her ringside. In the back, Dolph Ziggler approached Adam Pearce. He said, I got the perfect guy to take McIntyre's open challenge. Pierce said, whoa, you're not eligible. It's only people that have never challenged before. Challenged McIntyre, that is. And Dolph goes, I know. It's not me. But I got somebody else I want to discuss. And Pierce said, okay, let's go talk in my office. And you immediately know who it is. You immediately know it's Robert Roode. The Hurt Business cut a promo on Apollo Cruz. MVP said the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different routine or a different result in that routine. Cruz kept stepping to Lashley, and he said Cruz keeps stepping to Lashley and losing. We repoed that U.S. title and told him he ain't getting it back. MVP and Lashley said Cruz and his buddies gonna get dropped again. And we got a 6-man tag team match. It was Apollo Cruz, Ricochet, Mustafa Ali against Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. We saw this match before when Ali made his return to Raw. Well, actually, his debut on Raw. They noted that Cedric isn't here because he's at Hurt Business Boot Camp or something like that. Hold on. I tweeted it out exactly what he called it. He called it, Hurt Business Boot Camp. I guess that's the new way of saying 2-week self-quarantine. The babyfaces attacked the Hurt Business before the match could even start. Hurt Business beat them up anyways. The lights went out, and the Retribution logo was shown on all the screens, but we know Retribution can't be there. So then we go straight to commercial. We come back, and they're just having the match. And the announcers go, well, before the break, we did see a teaser of Retribution. Could they come out during this match or later tonight? We'll have to wait and see. The match was, like I said, underway when we came back from the break. And Ali won pretty quickly with the 450 splash on MVP. The exact same finish that they did when, Ali debuted on Raw months ago. 450 on MVP. Cool. Lucy Flair show Christian and Michaels still playing poker in the back. 2 hours later. Flair won one final hand to win all the chips. Ooh, also, I forgot to mention something. There was a spot earlier in the night, and this is important, where the Hurt Business was walking, I guess they're walking to the ring, and MVP had a bottle of water and just throws it at a janitor. And it's like, pick that up, or something like that. We then got a video package for Bianca Belair. It said the fastest in WWE. She beat 2 men and 1 woman in a race. She beat all 3 easily. The one guy quit. She beat the other 2 a second time, even after giving them a head start. She also won a hurdles race. Cool. We then got a Retribution video package, because like I stated, they can't be there. All 5 members of Retribution were made to self-quarantine. And I was surprised we got Keith Lee tonight. It means Keith Lee must be staying away from his girlfriend, Mia Yim, because she was made to self-quarantine. Keith Lee was on the show. So I assume, since the self-quarantine was put in place, the two haven't seen each other or haven't been around each other. So that's good that Keith Lee was able to be on that show tonight. I forgot to mention that, because that was something that was asked of me earlier. Hey, if Mia Yim's got a self-quarantine, what about Keith Lee? Now, I don't believe they live together, so that's why he didn't have to self-quarantine. McIntyre comes out all ready for his open challenge, and Dolph would make his way out to the ring. Dolph stated that he's got somebody glorious to challenge, and out would come the glorious Robert Roode. Robert Roode would come back, full beard, no more porn stash. Still had his glorious theme song, which I am so grateful for. I don't know when that theme song was created, if CFO created it, but if they lose Glorious, Bobby Roode is no. They can't lose Glorious. The match starts. McIntyre gave Roode a reverse Alabama slam on the ring apron. Cool looking spot that sent us straight to break less than 2 minutes into this match. Also, Robert Roode was skinnier than the last time I saw him, and less jacked. I guess he's off that stuff that got him suspended back in January. Back from the break, Ziggler helped Roode get out of harm's way. So McIntyre yanked him into the ring. Rude chop blocked McIntyre to take over. Rude followed by driving McIntyre's leg into the ring post. Rude also dropped him leg first onto the announce table. Rude applied the figure four, and McIntyre rolled over to break the hold. McIntyre came back with the clothesline and an overhead belly-to-belly suplex, but came up limping off of the kip-up. Remember, he hurt his knee kicking the Claymore kicking the ambulance door at Clash of Champions. Rude then hit him with a spinebuster and got a 2 off of it. McIntyre managed to come back with a Future Shock DDT for a near fall. McIntyre would then boot Ziggler off the apron, and the distraction allowed Rude to hit the glorious DDT, but he only got a near fall off of it. McIntyre blocked another DDT attempt and hit a Claymore kick for the pinfall victory. McIntyre retains the title in a pretty good match, and they didn't mention that these two have fought before in NXT. So then we think the show's over. Like, I looked at my clock, and it was like less than 90 seconds left in Raw. And before the show ends, cuts to a shot in the back. And that janitor from earlier grabs a steel chair, goes over to a room that says Legends Lounge, and, well, reveals that he's none other than Randy Orton. Yes, Randall Keith Orton. Orton puts on what we're supposed to believe are night vision goggles, but no, sir, they're not. Those are Miller brand welding goggles. My brother has the exact pair at his house. I've used those goggles to weld before. I mean, the first giveaway was the strap said Miller, and the second giveaway is that the actual lenses were purple. Lenses like that are welding glasses. Orton walks into this room, this Legends Lounge, I guess you can say, and he turns the lights off as he puts the goggles on. All of a sudden we hear King, 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 King. Half a dozen or more chair shots. Orton then turned the lights on to reveal the damage done. The Legends were all down. Also, the food was down, knocked down too. Orton then left the room and put his mask and hood back on. A bunch of officials who are idiots ran down the hallway as Orton points. If these fucking idiots knew that Orton attacked them in this locker room, then they would have also knew that Orton was disguised as the goddamn janitor, because they would have saw. Okay, you can say, oh, well, they didn't see Orton put the disguise back on. No, but they had to have seen him take it off. These fucking bumbling idiots run right past Orton the janitor, and the show goes off the air. This was dumb, stupid, hokey, outright. The fuck? My whole thing was, I don't know how many people, I belly laughed when I saw him put on the welding goggles, and frickin' Joe goes, oh, Orton's got night vision goggles. And I go, well, I need to call my brother and tell him that his welding goggles can help him see at night. They're fucking welding goggles. Miller welding goggles. Anyways, for these officials and referees to not stop and go, wait, janitor, you're Randy Orton, but just go, which way? And Orton point one way. You can't take these officials seriously ever again. I know Adam Pearce ran in there, Pat Buck ran in there, and a bunch of referees. You can't take any of these MFers serious ever again, because they're that dumb. For them to know what happened, they had to have seen Orton undress or take the mask off and then walk in. So these freaking idiots, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. This was the dumbest way they could have ended the show. And they made all their officials, who we're supposed to think are respected by the talent for the most part, look like geeks. That was Monday Night Raw. A show that, like I said, felt like it was 4 or 5 hours long instead of 3 hours long, and had a lot of dumb segments, including this dumb segment at the end of the show. But the main event match, Rude and McIntyre, that was a good match, so yeah. But with that, I'm going to read some of your text messages. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, the number is 510-906-1341. First text message here says, Tim, is it true that James Storm has signed with WWE? Well, that's a slippery thing to talk about because we don't actually know exactly what went down. James Storm did an interview with Pro Wrestling Sheet and stated that he signed a deal with WWE and was going to debut after WrestleMania. WrestleMania weekend, he was going to drop the NWA Tag Team titles and then debut whenever WWE is ready for him. But because when the pandemic hit, WWE put his debut on hold. He also stated that he hasn't spoken with anybody in WWE since July. But if he signed the contract, I would then assume that he is now currently under contract to WWE, and it's just on them when they want to eventually bring him in. But the way he said it in the interview with Ryan Satin was, I hope eventually one day in the future I can work with WWE. He almost made it seem like they cut the contract, not just didn't debut him, but cut the contract as well. So I don't know any of those details. Satin's got a full-length interview still to come, and he only put out 10 minutes of it. So, we'll see. This person said, who do you think will be traded in the upcoming WWE draft? I have no clue at all. If it was after Hell in a Cell, I would say McIntyre to SmackDown. But it's before Hell in a Cell. So I don't think they trade McIntyre and put him on there as the WWE champion. Now, what they could do is do what they did last year with The Fiend. Have him go over and be drafted to SmackDown, and then Orton win the title, keeping the title on Raw. Remember last year, The Fiend was drafted to SmackDown from Raw, won the Universal title, and took it to SmackDown. So they could do something like that, where McIntyre as the champion gets drafted, but then comes over, but then loses his title to Randy Orton. This person says, with Rude back on Raw, has your opinion changed to who could be the mystery person behind the NXT vignette, or a swerve and it is still Rude? Could be a swerve, but with him back on Raw, I don't think it is. Now, if you have to believe that it is a former champion, I think the only other logical explanation is Ember Moon. I think it could be Ember Moon. Here's the thing. Ember Moon is recovering from an Achilles injury. Ember Moon has talked a lot about this injury, except for the last month or two where she's been very quiet about her Achilles injury. Maybe it's Ember Moon coming back to challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And this final text message says, do you think Adam Cole and or Undisputed Era will be called up in the draft and get new music? I hope they don't get new music. Oh, I hope they don't get new music. If you change the Undisputed Era music, no. Dun 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 dun. That's just great music. Because then you have to, if you change the Undisputed Era music, Adam Cole has to redo how he does the boom. Because it's going to be, the music's going to be a different tempo and a different rhythm and everything. Please don't. I hope they don't have to change that one either. But as far as them getting called up, it's possible. I know there's probably not much to look into with this, but Fox put up a little GIF video thing where it's like, pause the video to see who you draft to Monday Night Raw. Pause the video to see who you draft to SmackDown. And there were NXT roster members, including Kyle O'Reilly, in that little quick video deal. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. Remember, if you missed any of this show, you can either watch it later right here on twitch.tv/PWUnlimited as a video on demand, or over on youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember to follow us on social media, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com. I just said that one, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, and follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you next time.